Hi everybody, Coach Brittney back again with our next writing lesson. Today we're going to talk about rhythm. So rhythm is extremely important for poems because it is what it gives us flow, it what makes it fun to say, it what makes it have life. Just like when we had descriptive writing and added life, rhythm is another portion that really gives poems that memorable aspect where you hear them and you just feel like you're part of the poem and you can just, you think about it all the time because it just sticks in your head. So we're going to talk about how to kind of where rhythm comes from, which involves talking about some syllables, and then you're going to write your own poem with rhythm. So we're going to start, as always, with a definition. So we're going to talk about what is rhythm and what are syllables, because syllables is a big part of what gives things rhythm. Okay? So first, rhythm is a strong, regular, repeated pattern of movement or sound. So rhythm can happen when you clap a rhythm. I'm not going to try to clap a rhythm because I don't have a lot of rhythm, unfortunately. Songs have rhythm. It's a repeated pattern. So in poems, that involves repeating a certain amount of syllables and working with syllables. Now, what is a syllable? A syllable is a part of a word that contains one unbroken sound. So it's the word, the sound doesn't stop. It doesn't stop because a lot of times it's when you get to a new vowel, but it's just continue, like rhythm is one syllable, rhythm, one sound. There's nothing that interrupts it. There's syllables is three sounds. So syllables. You stop kind of when you're saying it because that's kind of the way the syllables are broken up, okay? So what we're going to read this poem. It's called Sick by Shel Silverstein. It's a very popular poem. You've probably heard it before. You have been in our Scores lessons. It shows up. So it's a very fun, popular poem. This is just a small part of it. I'm just going to read it, and I want you to kind of think in your head about where the rhythm comes from. In our next activity, we're actually going to take some of these words and we're going to sort them into the number of syllables they have. So you can then maybe we can go back and look at it and say, oh, that's where the rhythm comes from. I get it now. Okay? So Sick by Shel Silverstein. I cannot go to school today, said little Peggy Ann McKay. I have the measles and mumps, a gash, a rash, and purple bumps. My mouth is wet, my throat is dry. I'm going blind in my right eye. My tonsils are as big as rocks. I've counted 16 chicken pox, and there's one more, that's 17. Except it's just a small portion of the poem. There's quite a bit more to that poem. She goes all kinds of symptoms, and then you realize, spoiler alert, it's actually a Saturday, so she doesn't have to pretend that she's sick. So what we're going to do now is we're going to sort some words into the number of syllables. So a big part of when you're working with syllables and you're trying to figure out how many words a syllable has, or how many syllables a word has, is clapping. It's very common. So you clap out the syllables. So like the word syllable, syllable, or sort, okay? So a lot of times, again, it is broken up by the different vowels. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna show a word, and I want you to do it with me. I want you to clap the syllables, come up with how many you think it goes into, maybe on a piece of paper, write down 1, 2, 3 syllables, and see if you can sort it as we go, okay? So our first word is cannot. How many syllables do you think cannot has? So it's cannot. How many times did I clap? Would that do? Cannot, right? There's 2 vowels, 2 syllables, cannot. Okay, so as you see, put in our 2-syllable column. Next word, go. Go, right? 1 syllable, 1 word, go. So that'd be 1 syllable. School. How many syllables do you think school has? Remember, I'm taking these all from the poem we just looked at. School, school, right? School. Has 1 syllable, 1 vowel sound. School, 1 syllable. Today. Think about as I even said it. How many does it sound like? Today. Today. Right? 2 syllables, 2 vowels, 2 vowel sounds. Today. It's in our 2-syllable column. What about said? How many syllables do you think are in the word said? Said. Right? Only clap once. Said. In our 1-syllable column. Little. Again, when you say it, you can even tell how many syllables it's going to say just by the way you say it, way you break it up as you say it, because it has 2 sounds, right? Little, little. right? 2 syllables. Little. 2 syllables, 2 vowels, 2 vowel sounds. Okay, so our next word is the word measles. Again, it looks like a really big word. You might think it has lots and lots of syllables, but you might be wrong, because just because there's a lot of letters doesn't necessarily mean it has a lot of syllables, okay? So let's clap it out. Measles. It's 2, right? 2 syllables, 2 sets of 2 vowel sounds, 2 syllables. Measles. Our next word is mouth. How many syllables do you think the word mouth has? Mouth, right? I clapped once. Mouth. There's 1 syllable, 1 vowel sound. Wet. Wet. Again, 1 vowel sound, 1 syllable. Wet. Tonsils. Again, a bigger word. Again, you might be looking at it and saying, there's all kinds of letters. There's got to be 4 or 5 syllables. Nope, not quite. So tonsils, right? So think about when you're saying tonsils, kind of have break up that pattern, right? It's not 1 sound. Tonsils. So it's 2 syllables. $17. Now here we go. We got a big word here. There's a lot of letters in it. There's a lot of vowels in it. Again, that can mean 1 or 2 things. The best way to figure this out is as you say it and as you clap it. So 17, 17. 3 syllables. This is our biggest one. So 17. Even as you say it, you realize there's kind of 3 different breaks ups in that word. 17, right? 17. 16. Number right by 17. How many do we think it has? 16, right? 2 sets of vowel sounds, 2 syllables. Last one is chicken. So we talked about chicken pox in this poem, so it's chicken. So chicken, right? Again, 2 vowel sounds. Let me pause this to see what this email is about. So now we've kind of put our words into syllables. So we took some of the words, the major words from that poem, we put them into syllables. You kind of look at that poem and be like, oh, so this one had 1 or 2 syllables, and this one has 3 or 4 syllables, and kind of look through that poem and figure out, you know, this is why it has, you know, there's only 1, 3 syllable word in there. There's a reason for that. It's a lot of 2 and 1 syllable words because they work together so well, it gives a great rhythm. So what we're going to do now it is your turn. As always, it is your turn to write a poem. So there's a few different ways you can do this. First of all, you can write a poem that you can decide how many syllables are going to be in each line, or you could write the poem and then go back and then be like, oh, this is where my syllables, and figure out why it has rhythm like it does. Maybe you're just naturally good at writing rhythm. So now you can go back and count the syllables and see, oh, I put a lot of 1 and 2 syllable words together, or I'm putting a lot of 3 syllable words together to see how this works. So what I want you to do is I want you to write your poem and either figure out how many syllables are in it, or write a 3-line, 4-line poem, doesn't have to be super long, and decide how many syllables per line. So I have an example here. The first line can be also 1 syllable words, nothing but 1 syllable words. Second line, you can do all 2 syllable words. The third line can be 1 syllable words again, and the fourth line can be 3 or more syllable words, just to see how it flows. Do you like how it flows? Do you think it doesn't work? Maybe then you just rearrange it. Maybe the line 2 also has 1 syllable words just to go. So it's a lot of up to you how you want to write it, because there's a lot of different ways you can write syllable words, and you can write your rhythm poem. This is a very trial and error kind of thing. So I want you to try it and just see what happens. You can also, like I said, you could decide how many words you want each line to have. Each line could have so many syllables. That is up to you as the poet, okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to pause the video, as always, and I want you to go in and I want you to write your rhythm poem. And make sure, like I said, keep track of how many syllables are in each word you're using, just so you have an idea of why it flows like it does, what works and what doesn't, okay? Now that you are back, as always, I hope you always come back to me, we are going to do, I want you to share it. As always, I want you to see those poems. I want to hear those poems. I want to see how you put the rhythm together and see the work that you've done. So go on flipgrid.com. I want you to use the code writing poems, and I want you to submit your poem under the rhythm topic. So you'll see a bunch of topics there, and you will see one that says rhythm. So I would like you to put your piece under there. Remember, every video you submit to us earns a point, and every point gets you closer to patches. If you get 3 patches by the end of summer, you get a prize, okay? And as always, you can do this at any time throughout the summer. So we post them starting June 8th. We'll stop posting July 31st. So within that time frame or before school, we might extend that time frame a little for you to post. So please make sure you're posting, you're sending us all your fantastic poems. So I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to read it. I can't wait to hear it. Till then, next time, I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend or week, depending on when you're watching this. All right, guys, be safe, be healthy, and we will see you again soon.